Hello everyone, my name is Paul Third, and it's a shame that I've had to make this video, but let's just get into it. Right, okay, negativity on YouTube, right? There's been quite a few comments from content creators talking about negativity on the platform, especially in this field, in the like audio community field, music production, you know, blah, blah, blah. For me, if we see YouTube, the audio community, on a meter, right? Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. If we look at when every product comes out, especially a big product, I would say that this is a fucking pen in my hand, but I'd normally say it's like that. 95% of content is, in my opinion, overly positive. If we take the Waves BB Tubes video, for example, I went through over 60 videos because I'm that sad. Remember, I'm autistic, right? I do see everything in patterns and numbers, and I'm obsessed with statistics and stuff. I did watch a lot of BB Tube reviews, and over 60 videos I went through, only 2 were negative. One was mine, and another one was a video that got like 300 views. I mean, I find it interesting that content creators that predominantly make money from paid content and trying to sell you stuff would be telling you that we need to get rid of negative YouTubers. If I perceive things to be a certain way and I decide to make a very overly critical video, then it's done for a reason. If I felt that the Waves BB Tubes and the Harrison and the SSL stuff, you know, that like all fucking went a bit nuts, you know, a lot of that stuff wouldn't have been made if there was other content creators being critical. And people may be like, but Paul, we don't need to be critical, right? Just see a tool for what it is. I get that, but like when you're buying something, do you not need a contrast? You'll obviously look at reviews. That's what we all do. We might even go on YouTube, right? See how it works and see what it looks like. And then we'll go into like consumer reviews and stuff. And we'll be like, right, what are people saying about it?
It blew up on Deirdre. Oh, fuck that. It lasted 3 months with Dave.
We look for the possible downfalls because when we buy something, we want to make sure we're getting the most for our money. And I think that this is where the negativity in the comments is coming from. The reason it's very toxic is because of contrast. Right? Like the whole audio community is in complete contrast. You have analog guys that fully believe that analog is the best and no plugin can ever touch it. You've got guys like me that I've done tests and I'm like, well, actually, there is times analog can win, but there's times that actually you can't tell the difference with plugins, and there's subjectively times where, you know, plugins can get better. Contrast, and guys hate that, right? And especially expensive and cheap stuff, right? People just assume that because something is more expensive, that, yeah, that's what I'm going to go for, compared to something that's less expensive. And as soon as they've bought something that's more expensive, the confirmation bias will kick in, and anybody slating that product and anybody having a bit of critique, and actually anybody's saying, well, actually, this cheaper product, I actually think that's maybe a bit better.
You're wrong, you're an idiot, what the fuck do you know?
And that is kind of the crux with YouTube, isn't it? That because the way that the audio community kind of uses YouTube, it's kind of really two things. It's either you want to learn tips and mixing tricks from pros, don't do this, do that, or it's like, right, I want to buy something and I want to know if it's good or it's not, and I can't be bothered demoing it and I want you to tell me if it's good or not. There are many variables about why there's so much toxicity and negativity, but at the end of the day, it's never going to stop, because that is the world. The world is full of contrast. The world is full of differing opinions. And what I want to say is that we should continue having differing opinions. No, there's nothing wrong with somebody making positive content that's based around showing the features of a product. Here's how it can work for you. Here's how it works in this context. Here's what it does, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, just because marketing can be debunked, it doesn't mean that a plugin can't work. And that's where these guys come in. But then you've got guys like me that come in at the other end of the spectrum, contrasting that to make you just think. Because at the end of the day, when I make anything that's overly critical, what am I gaining out of it? You go, oh, you're gaining views. Anybody that thinks that they can make a full-time living off YouTube, you gotta be a fucking huge content creator, getting at least over 100k fucking views an episode. So you know, when I'm making these videos, all I'm getting is shit from people. Stupid comments, hate mail and stuff like that. And it's part and parcel of doing what I do. And even me, Paul Third, you know, just because I'm very, with my autism, you know, I'm very, very literal in the way I see things. And I'm very stubborn and I struggle to see things that's not been proven and kind of differs from kind of things that I'm very sure is right. Doesn't mean that, you know, I am right. And it doesn't mean that, you know, just because many people like me doesn't mean that there's many people that don't like me. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, I can't please everybody. You know what I mean? In the end, many people don't like my style. Many people don't like the way I do the skits. Many people don't like the way that I present certain things. And I get that, and that's okay. And there needs to be that. You can't have everybody loving Paul Third. I mean, go in fucking Gearspace, you know what I mean? You'll see people that detest me, and that is what it is. You know what I mean? I piss a lot of people off, and I have differing opinions to a lot of other people. But in the end, that is okay. And I accepted that a very long time ago. You need that contrast. And I think many YouTubers are struggling right now because they're making overly positive content. Some of it's paid, and they're maybe glazing over a few things, and they're only kind of focusing on what works instead of what doesn't work. And obviously, you know, I mean, if people have bought into that and they've bought the plugin or the product, and then you have a guy like me going, well, actually, there's that and that wrong with it, or there's that and that could be seen as an issue, then it's going to piss off people, and people are going to dive into the comments. And I think what content creators have got to remember is that the internet's the internet. Trolls are trolls, but not all negativity are trolls. I've had to kind of teach myself that, because I get too invested in the comments, and it's actually something that I'm going to try and sit back on a little bit. I'm going to stop liking and hearting comments, because it's getting that childish that people are genuinely looking at the comments that I'm not liking or hearting and like being, oh, I noticed he didn't fucking like or heart your comment. Like that means he's that. I'm just like, fuck's sake. Over a like and a fucking heart. So I'm going to stop doing that. And I'm going to stop arguing with people so much in the comments. I'm just stubborn and I can't change it. When I see things a certain way, I really struggle. And I get very passionate about things. And I'm very invested because of the work that I put in. But I've got to learn that when I sometimes do go full fucking autism mode on somebody, prove it, do that, what about this, that. And I argue till I'm out of breath. That, you know, just let people have a different opinion. Just let people contrast what you're saying and let people make their own mind up. And I think that that's really how I want to end this video, is that we just need to let people make their own mind up, but we still need to give them, you know, both ends of the spectrum. People will tell you that they're purposely being made for attention, and it's like it's all done for drama. It's not done for drama. It's like we're just passionate about what we do. We're as passionate as the people that are making the positive videos, showing you like how it could work well for you. If oversampling and aliasing and EQ cramping and other things doesn't bother you, then it's not going to make any impact to you. But there are people that do bother about aliasing, that do bother about oversampling and EQ cramping and other things. And we should be making content for those people as well. We can't just be making content for a very small group of people, because in the end, this entire community is very sparse. As I said earlier, with varying, very, very, very differing opinions. Our reviews really should be as fully rounded as possible. But unfortunately, humans aren't fully rounded. I'm only going to come and do like another Waves BB or another Harrison or another SSL when I feel that the balance isn't there and I see a lot of people buying into something that may potentially have issues that you don't know about, that you may need to know about, that may be important to you. A lot of the stuff that we talk about when we do critical, you know, videos using plugindoctor and sweeps and stuff like that, we're basing it on experiences that we've had, you know what I mean? And we already know that in terms of what does it sound like, man? Just check the other 60, 70 videos that are all doing the same thing. I'm just giving you, right, the stuff that you may need to know, stuff that may be important to you. Just don't suppress negativity, all right? We need it. Nothing wrong with a bit of balance on YouTube, all right? My name's Paul Third, and I'll see you again next week.